Hi, boys and girls. It's me, Miss Booksy.
And me, Harry. Hi.
Want to see our friends Gabe and Babe read Peter Pan?
Yes, please. Let's go.
Hi guys, we're Gabrielle and Chad.
And this is Chad Jr. right here, aka Siege.
You can usually find us at GabeBabeTV, but today we're right here at Cool School for the Story Circle.
That's right, and we're gonna read Peter Pan. Are you ready?
Are you guys at home ready? Let's go. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Peter Pan. Actually, for quite a long time, there was a boy named Peter Pan. See, Peter never grew up. He got to be a little boy forever. And when you're a little boy forever, that means lots and lots of playtime. Peter lived in a place called Neverland, maybe because boring stuff never ever happened there. He lived in an awesome tree fort with his friends, the Lost Boys, Toodles, Nibs, Slightly, Curly, and the twins. They climbed trees and explored caves and made a cool zip line. They weren't even bored when it rained. That's when Peter Pan and the Lost Boys would go out and have mud fights. It makes a huge mess and it's a mega ton of fun, and it's the kind of thing you do when you never grow up. Life was pretty awesome in Neverland, that is, until the day Captain Hook arrived. Captain Hook and his pirate gang just showed up uninvited and they started taking over. Of course, being grown-ups, they made a bunch of rules like no tree climbing and bedtime is 8 p.m. They took down the boys' zip line, said it was dangerous, and worst of all, they had real swords, and you really had to listen to them. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys were doing their best just to go along with the new rules and behave, but it was hard. They were used to causing a ruckus. Finally, one day, Captain Hook announced that the children were going to have to leave Neverland. He put up his own flag and renamed it Grown Up Island. There were horrible rumors of having to take baths, eat vegetables, and go to school. Fortunately, even Captain Hook wasn't going to make them go shopping for new clothes, but still, he was pretty bad, and it had to be stopped. He was going to turn Neverland into the most boring place in the whole entire universe.
Captain Hook must be stopped!
Yeah!
Neverland is a place where boys can play all day long and go on adventures!
Yeah!
Where a boy can play with his food if he wants to!
Yeah!
To the Jolly Roger!
That's what Captain Hook's pirate ship was called, which is kind of weird because it's not such a scary and piratey name if you ask me. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys charged into the Jolly Roger, yelling and waving their sticks, but they stopped short when Captain Hook appeared. He was a very scary looking dude. Huge gnarly beard, wooden teeth, an eye patch over an eye, and a giant hook for a hand.
Hello, children. I see you've come aboard me ship to surrender. Say goodbye to Grown Up Island or whatever land.
This is our island, and it's called Neverland, because it's a special island where you never have to grow up.
Yeah!
No grown-ups allowed, and no girls either, except for Tinkerbell and Wendy. She's nice. Okay, girls are cool, but no grown-ups.
Yeah!
Oh, aren't you children cute? It's a shame I'm gonna have to make ya walk the plank. Come with me onto the poop deck.
What did you say?
Come with me onto the poop deck. That's where the plank is.
I'm sorry, the what deck?
The poop deck.
Whose deck?
Poop deck.
The boys laughed so hard they thought they were gonna fall over. They had never heard a grown-up yell poop before. This made Captain Hook furious.
Be quiet! It's not that funny. It's called a poop deck. That's what it's called.
Even the other pirates were laughing now.
That's its name, okay? It's from the French word for the back of the boat. La poop.
La poop?
Why don't you just grow up?
Grow up? Never!
The Lost Boys all cheered and danced around, jumping and doing cartwheels. The other pirates were crying, they were laughing so hard. Even Captain Hook's pet parrot was laughing and saying,
Back, la poop.
Captain Hook didn't like this kind of nonsense one bit. He yelled for quiet.
You cut this hullabaloo out right now! Right now, I say!
But no one listened. Finally, he begged them to stop having fun, and he told Peter Pan and the Lost Boys that he would leave forever if they could just be quiet.
I just want to go away in peace. Please.
And you'll never come back to Neverland?
Never.
Will you pinky swear?
Sure, whatever.
Eek! Other hand, please.
And just like that, Captain Hook and his grown-up pirate gang left Neverland and went off to be grown-ups somewhere else. They're probably eating prunes, cleaning behind their ears, and going to bed early as we speak. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys had defeated them just by being kids. They played for the rest of the day, way past 8 p.m. Captain Hook, or Captain LaPoop as they called him, never came back to Neverland, and Peter Pan and the Lost Boys lived happily ever after. The end.
Harry, do you want to check out a story from RissRoseDos?
Yeah, she has a pet pig. That is so awesome.
It sure is. Let's say hi.
Hi. Oink, oink, oink.
Hey guys, I'm Marissa and I'm here with the twins.
Hi.
You may recognize us from our YouTube channel, RissRoseDos, and we are so excited to be here with Cool School's Story Circle. Today we're going to be reading Thumbelina. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. Once upon a time, a mother had not one, but 2 baby girls. Twins! Except you'd never know that they were twins by looking at them. One girl was the usual size of a little baby. She fit into all her onesies, her crib was just right, and she drank the expected amount of milk from her bottle. But her twin sister was, well, a little small. Uh-oh, where is she? There she is. See? Her name was Thumbelina, and she was no bigger than your pinky nail. She wore a small snip of ribbon as a dress, and she slept in a walnut shell with a single rose petal as a blanket, and her favorite plaything was a Scotty dog piece from Monopoly. Despite their difference in size, she and her twin sister Maggie grew up to be just like 2 peas in a pod. Well, one regular pea and one super extra tiny one. Maggie loved Thumbelina tremendously and promised that she would always protect her. Thumbelina was so tiny, she would get lost all the time, and that could be so dangerous. One time she fell into a bag of marshmallows and her grandpa almost ate her.
Sorry.
But it probably would have been okay because he didn't have any teeth. Another time, Thumbelina had been riding safely in Maggie's pocket when Maggie forgot all about her, found a quarter on the ground, and just dropped it into her pocket, right onto Thumbelina.
Hey, watch it!
There was one adventure that was the wildest of all. One time Maggie brought Thumbelina along with her to walk their dog Narlo. Narlo was very well behaved, except when someone on a skateboard rode by. There was just something about skateboards that made him crazy. And wouldn't you know it, right on cue, bad boy Dan Markowitz was barreling towards them on his skateboard. Narlo started running after Dan, barking and jumping. Thumbelina couldn't hold on and she went flying up into the air. She landed safely on Dan's skateboard. They were whooshing along so fast she could barely hang on. Then he hit a bump and she went sailing through the air until she landed safely on the wing of a bird, a beautiful blue jay. She held on super tight and looked down at everything. The world looked so small from up there. It looked like it was just her size. The blue jay landed in his nest and Thumbelina hopped off. Mr. Blue Jay sure was surprised to see her. He told Thumbelina she was the prettiest bird he'd ever seen and asked if she could stay and be his wife.
Thanks, but no thanks. I have to go find my sister.
And before he could say anything, she jumped onto a squirrel's back and rode away. The squirrel jumped from tree to tree to tree. It was like being on a roller coaster. Finally, he stopped to gather some acorns, and Thumbelina jumped off and yelled,
Thanks for the ride. Hey, I didn't know you were there. I could use a squirrely girl like you to help me gather food for the winter. Will you stay with me? Ugh, no way. I don't even like acorns.
Before he could say anything, she snapped a leaf off the tree and used it to parasail down to the ground. She landed right next to the family of field mice. The baby mice were so cute. They were singing a mouse song about cheese and peanut butter.
I like peanut butter, I like cheese. Sometimes when you eat it fast, it'll make you sneeze.
Thumbelina giggled and thought it was the sweetest thing she had ever heard. They asked Thumbelina if she could stay and help them find more cheese. Surely she had a good cheese connection. She patted them each on the head and said,
You're so cute, but I gotta go. Maybe ask a cow.
She looked all around for Maggie. How could she ever find her? She yelled, Maggie! But her voice was so tiny it sounded like this.
Thumbelina!
Thumbelina tried to call out again, but Maggie couldn't possibly hear her. The sound Thumbelina's shouts made were just too tiny and too high-pitched. just like a dog whistle, which is why Narlo's ears suddenly pricked up. Narlo could hear her. Narlo began to look for Thumbelina, sniffing and poking around in the grass, which frightened the baby field mice.
She went that way.
Narlo sniffed and snorted his way toward Thumbelina, and when he found her, he was so happy he gave her a giant slobbery puppy lick. But Thumbelina didn't care. She was just so happy to be rescued. Thumbelina and Maggie cheered and hugged, well, in their own way. Thumbelina told her sister about her adventure, the flying around, the danger, and all the little animals that wanted her to stay, and how she told them,
No way. I just had to get back to my best friend in the whole world, my sister.
And so, the two sisters were reunited safely, and they remained best friends forever and ever. The end. So what do you think about the Thumbelina story?
Yeah, it was awesome. I liked it. It was one of the best stories ever.
Yay!
Hey, Harry, are you ready for another episode of Story Circle?
I thought you'd never ask.
Well, let's go see the Knive Knolls. Hey, guys! Hi!
Hey guys, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Austin, and this is Kylan.
You can find us on our channel, The Knive Knolls. But right now, we're hanging out with the cool school for our story time.
Today we're gonna be reading Little Red Riding Hood.
Let's go, are you ready?
Let's do it, I'm excited.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood who loved her grandma more than just about anything in the whole wide world. She loved her this much.
This much!
One day, her grandma got sick, so Little Red packed up a picnic basket of get-well foods like chicken soup, orange juice, vitamins, ginger ale, and gummy bears. Okay, so maybe the gummy bears were actually for herself, but it was a very nice get-well basket. Little Red Riding Hood set off for her grandma's house. She was about halfway there when out jumped a wolf. Don't worry, Little Red Riding Hood was trained in wolf karate, so she was not afraid.
Going to a picnic?
Nope. I'm going to my grandma's house because she's sick. I'm gonna take care of her.
Well, aren't you nice?
Yes, I am. Now buzz off.
Can I have some of that chicken soup?
No way! That's my grandma's soup. And I said scram!
The wolf ran off down the path, howling. Little Red Riding Hood was glad he was gone. She didn't have time to be bothering with any stinking wolves. She had to get to her grandma. When Little Red finally arrived, she skipped up to the front door and knocked.
Grandma, it's me, Little Red.
Oh, just a minute.
That didn't sound like her grandma. Then the door opened and, well...
Oh, hello. Give Grandma a hug.
Needless to say, she wasn't fooled.
Where's my grandma?
Don't be silly, child. I'm your grandmother. Now, if only I had some chicken soup.
I already told you, you're not getting my grandma's chicken soup. Now, where is she?
Little Red, I'm in here. Little Red Riding Hood looked all around. Where was Grandma's voice coming from? The closet? Under the bed? In the bathroom? The wolf stood there, patting his tummy. He burped. Then Little Red realized.
You ate my grandma?
Well, I swallowed her whole, actually. I was just so hungry. Someone was being greedy with her chicken soup.
Well, kids, Little Red Riding Hood didn't want it to come to this, but she was going to have to use her wolf karate. She bowed and went into her fighting stance. She took a deep breath. And then...
What are you doing?
She went full ninja on that wolf. He tried to run, but he was so full of grandma that he couldn't even go very fast.
Please stop. I don't know karate. This isn't fair.
Give her back! Give her back!
But I already swallowed her.
You give my grandma back!
And just like that, he threw up. Out came Grandma. She was just fine. A little icky, but alive. Little Red called the police and they came and arrested the wolf. Grandma got better and Little Red Riding Hood got a medal from the mayor for outstanding citizen bravery in a wolf battle. And her martial arts instructor upgraded her to a black belt with special stripes that meant she was extra good at karate. The end.
Let's check in with April and Justin.
Yeah, they're reading Pinocchio.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi everyone,
I'm April.
And I'm Justin, and this is Liam.
He's our 4-month-old baby boy, and we're from AprilJustinTV, and today we're excited to be reading Pinocchio for Story Circle here at Cool School. Okay, you guys, here we go. Once upon a time, there was an old man named Geppetto. Geppetto had a great job. He made puppets. All kinds of beautiful puppets. Boys, girls, clowns, birds, you name it, and he could make it into a puppet. But Geppetto had a problem. He was lonely, very lonely. Geppetto was only happy when he put on shows for the people in his town, but still Geppetto was lonely for a family of his own. One night, Geppetto made a puppet that looked very, very real. He gave him a hat and rosy cheeks, and he named him Pinocchio. As he was playing with his new puppet, he looked up at the stars and said,
"Oh, I wish Pinocchio were really and truly my son."
Pinocchio? Well, that's a silly name.
Hey, you're real, you talked!
Of course I'm real. What do you think, Dad, that I was a puppet?
You called me Dad!
What else am I going to call you? You're my dad. And by the way, where's dinner?
Geppetto was so very happy that he had a real son, even if he was a little sassy. Pinocchio turned out to be a pretty good little boy, except for one big problem. Pinocchio didn't like to tell the truth.
And Geppetto always knew when he was telling a fib because his nose would grow a little bit bigger every time he lied. Yep, just grow and grow.
He told Geppetto he finished all his veggies when really he fed them to the dog. And he told him he'd done all his homework when really he just played video games all afternoon. And one time he said he cleaned his room when really all he'd done is push all his toys under his bed and threw his dirty clothes out the window. Naughty Pinocchio! One day Geppetto gave Pinocchio his lunch money and sent him off to school. But Pinocchio skipped all the way past the schoolhouse and straight to the movies. There was a new 3D movie about astronauts from the future playing, and he wasn't going to miss the first show. When he got to the theater, the lady in the ticket booth asked him if he was supposed to be in school.
No, said Pinocchio, I have off.
His nose just kept growing longer and longer. Pinocchio spent his lunch money on the ticket and a super jumbo-sized candy combo. He even hid in the theater so he could watch the movie a second time for free. When he finally left, he was feeling dizzy from all that 3D in one day. Pinocchio had had just about enough of feeling like he was flying around space. He just wanted to go home, eat dinner, and go to bed.
He walked home slowly, holding his tummy.
Ow!
His nose had gotten so long from all the bibs that it kept bumping into stuff along the way.
Owie!
Pinocchio, how was school?
Oh, it was good. I sure do love school.
Well, that's nice. Did you learn anything?
Yes, I learned so much. I got an A+ on my math test. I got a gold star on my book report. And I even won the spelling bee.
Pinocchio still hadn't learned his lesson about fibbing. His nose kept growing and growing with every lie.
And he hid it under a book so Geppetto wouldn't see.
Such a good boy I have. A good boy like Pinocchio deserves to go see the new 3D movie tonight.
Oh no! Pinocchio did not want to go back to the movies.
But it's a school night, Dad. I should stay home and study.
Oh, only a very good boy would say that. You deserve a special treat. To the movies we go!
At the movie theater, Geppetto bought Pinocchio popcorn, candy, and soda.
Do you want to make that a super jumbo deal?
Let's do it. My boy deserves a treat.
Usually Pinocchio would love to eat a super jumbo bucket of popcorn and candy and drink a giant soda, but not while he had a tummy ache. Right now he just wanted something simple like dry toast or maybe ginger ale. Pinocchio couldn't even look at the movie screen without feeling queasy. He was tired of the rocket ships and the astronauts and the Martians in the movie. He closed his eyes and wished he could go home, and now his nose was so long that it kept poking the guy in front of him.
Hey!
Sorry.
Halfway through the movie, Pinocchio felt so bad that he confessed and told Geppetto he had been fibbing and misbehaving all day. He told him how he had gone to the movies instead of school, eaten only candy, and worst of all, he didn't tell Geppetto the truth about any of it when he had the chance.
No math test?
No.
Book report?
N-O.
Spelling bee?
Nope, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Dad. I promise I won't lie to you anymore. Just please, let's go home. Shh. Sorry.
Geppetto took Pinocchio home and gave him some soup, toast, and ginger ale.
He read him a story, no astronauts from the future, just nice bedtime story stuff.
He told Pinocchio that he was so proud of him for finally telling the truth and that he loved him very much.
Even when I fib and do things you tell me not to?
I love you all the time because you're my boy.
I love you too, Dad, and I promise to try very hard to be a good boy.
Pinocchio's nose didn't grow at all because he was telling the truth. And from that day on, he really did try to behave. Sometimes he messed up, like the time he cut the dog's hair without permission, but at least he didn't lie about it. And that made Geppetto very happy, and he loved his son Pinocchio, and Pinocchio loved his dad. The end.
Harry, are you excited?
Yes! Today our friend Whitney is gonna read us a story!
Awesome! What's up, Whitney?
What's up, guys? I'm Whitney, and this is Olivia. You can find us at Dear Naptural85, Naptural85 Vlogs. But today, we're visiting Story Circle at Cool School. And the story we're reading today is The Tortoise and the Hare. Are you ready for story time? Our story today is The Tortoise and the Hare. No, not that kind of hare. Hare, like rabbit. No, hare is another name for a rabbit. That's better. Okay, so our story begins at the Animal County Fair. The animal's favorite event at the fair is the big race. The hare had been bragging all week how he was the fastest animal around and that he could beat anybody.
Yeah, nobody can beat me.
Who would challenge him? Maybe a super fast greyhound, or a racehorse, or maybe even a cheetah. Cheetahs are really, really, really fast.
You say you're the fastest animal around. Are you saying that you could beat a cheetah?
Any cheetah that races me should just worry about getting dust in their eyes. You know what I mean? Because I'll be running so fast, I'll be kicking up dust.
A lot of sugars, a lot of dust, huh? Can we get a PA on this, please?
The hare was talking so much trash, no one wanted to race him at all. When Mayor Moose called all the runners up to the starting line, only the hare showed up, kicking up dust in everybody's faces. Rude. When his dust cloud cleared, everyone saw that one other animal actually dared to show up for the race. It was Tina, a tortoise, which is a fancy way of saying a turtle. Can you believe that? A turtle!
Are you kidding me? You're one of the slowest animals of all time. Maybe a snail is slower, or maybe a sloth. What are you thinking?
Inquiring minds want to know, what are you thinking?
Well, I've never run in a race before, and I think it's important to try new things. So, here I am.
Don't you know you're gonna lose? You can't beat me.
The hare says you will definitely lose. Would you care to comment on that?
I like a challenge, but I have to admit, I bet on the hare.
Then Mayor Moose said, on your marks, get set,
and they're off.
Well, the hare ran off. The tortoise began her slow walk towards the finish. And she was slow, really slow. Meanwhile, the hare had run so far ahead that he looked back and thought,
you know, why not stop for a little snack?
The hare munched on some carrots from the little red hen's garden, and the tortoise marched on. The hare hopped ahead further and then decided he would just stop again for a while and play some games on his phone. Maybe play some Carrot Crush, watch some Cool School. Still, the tortoise kept walking. The crowd had actually begun to cheer her on. The hare heard the cheers and thought they were for him.
They're already celebrating my victory. I bet they'll give me a giant trophy, one so big I could fill it up with water and swim in it.
He practiced his victory dance. It went like this. The hare danced so hard he got kind of tired and decided he'd just take a little nap.
Why not? I have plenty of time. That tortoise is so slow. Kind of feel bad for her. At least she has a cool shell. Too bad she's not a ninja turtle.
As the hare slept, he dreamt of the finish line and all of his race-winning glory. All the applause, signing autographs, his picture in all the newspapers with headlines that read, "Hare defeats tortoise," and "Move over, cheetah, local hare named fastest animal in the world." It was a very happy dream, and still the tortoise marched on. In fact, the tortoise marched right past the sleeping hare.
And the tortoise is in the lead. I repeat, the tortoise is in the lead.
Well, this made the crowd go wild. The noise of the crowd woke up the hare. Oh, and look, the tortoise is almost at the finish line. The hare jumped up from his nap and charged towards the finish. But the tortoise used all the energy she could muster and took one giant tortoise leap, which really isn't much of a leap at all. More like a small step, but hey, it was a lot for a tortoise. And she won! The tortoise beat the hare!
And the tortoise has defeated the hare. I do not believe it, sports fans. The tortoise is the fastest animal in the land.
The hare was not happy at all. He stomped and cried and threw an awful tantrum. You might say he was hopping mad. But the tortoise was very happy. The crowd cheered and gave her a giant trophy. She got her picture in all of the newspapers. She signed a lot of autographs, and she got to be on TV. It was a great day at the Animal County Fair, one that all the town's animals would remember forever. It was a day they all learned that hard work and dedication can really pay off. They also would remember the funnel cake because the funnel cake was really, really good that year. But mostly, they would remember that the champion of the big race was Tina the tortoise. She never gave up, she refused to quit, and because she kept on trying, she won the race. The end.
Is it time for more Story Circle?
It sure is. Let's say hi to the LaVigne family. Hey there!
Hi guys! Hi!
Hi, we're the LaVigne family.
And today we will be reading Hansel and Gretel for you here on Story Circle at Cool School. Here we go! Once upon a time, two kids named Hansel and Gretel lived with their very forgetful older brother Richard. He was always leaving them behind at soccer practice, ballet rehearsal, at karate lessons, and the supermarket. Richard was so forgetful that Gretel started carrying around a pocket full of breadcrumbs so she could leave a trail to find their way back home whenever Richard forgot about them. One day, they went for a walk in the woods to do a little bird watching, Gretel carefully dropping breadcrumbs along the way. Hansel and Gretel spotted a very lovely red robin, and as they were watching him, Richard remembered that he had left the oven on. He forgot to tell Hansel and Gretel that he needed to run back home to turn off the oven before he burned his frozen pizza.
Nothing's worse than burnt pizza, not even leaving little kids alone in the forest.
Actually, leaving children in the woods is way worse. But it was okay since Gretel left a trail of breadcrumbs and... uh-oh. That little red robin ate all the crumbs. How will Hansel and Gretel ever get back now? Hansel and Gretel began to roam the woods looking for the way home. Their little bellies were really starting to growl with hunger. A nice hot pizza sure would be good right about now. It was then that they saw a house made of gingerbread and candy. Could it be true? They ran up and started taking bites of the house. It was true, and it was delicious. Just as Gretel was about to lick the frosting off the windowsill, a mean old witch popped her head out the window.
Oh, no you don't!
Sorry, we're just so hungry.
Well, why didn't you say so? Come in, come in. I'll feed you and fatten you up.
Hansel and Gretel were so hungry they went into her house even though they thought it might be a bad idea to hang out with the witch, especially since their mommy and daddy always told them never to go with strangers. The witch fed them more candy and cake and pie. She made chicken and waffles and mashed potatoes with little rivers of gravy and syrup. The witch even had homemade cotton candy. The food was delicious and Hansel and Gretel had nearly forgotten that they needed to get back home.
Well, how are you feeling? Nice and full?
Oh yes, thank you.
Good. Because when I turn you into puppies, you'll be nice and chubby. Perfectly cuddly. Did you say turn us into puppies? Why, yes. I get pretty lonely out here in the woods, and puppies are fun to play with. Even better than children, they grow up and become teenagers. Yuck.
Hansel and Gretel were not okay with this at all. They loved puppies as much as the next kid, but they didn't want to be puppies. They had to find a way out. That night, as the witch slept, snoring louder than a dump truck, I might add.
Hey, I go vroom vroom. I don't snore.
They were just about to sneak out of the witch's gingerbread candy house when Hansel stepped on a dog toy that let out a loud squeak. The witch woke up.
Oh, no you don't. My pretty puppies.
Gretel grabbed a stick and waved it at the witch.
Back off! You won't turn me into a dog.
But that was no ordinary stick for playing fetch. That was the witch's magic wand she used for casting spells. When Gretel waved it at the witch and said the word dog, the witch herself started to turn into a big gray Labrador puppy. She tried to yell,
"No, stop!"
but all that came out was Hansel and Gretel were afraid she would be a mean dog and they backed away. But she happily jumped and licked their faces. She was a great big puppy. They had defeated the witch and they had a new dog for a pet. As you know, dogs are excellent in finding their way around. With her big nose, she could smell the trail of breadcrumbs that Gretel had left and the robin had eaten, and she led them home. Richard was so happy to see Hansel and Gretel.
Did I forget to bring you guys with me when I went home to see if my pizza was ready? Yes! Oops, sorry about that.
Then, he saw the puppy they brought with them, and he said that of course they could keep the dog, as long as they didn't get him in trouble with their mom and dad. They named her Gingerbread, in honor of the house where they found her. Gingerbread turned out to be super useful around the house, barking whenever Richard forgot things like leaving the oven on, or forgetting to turn off the faucet, or where he left the car in every parking lot they ever go to. And so, Richard, Gingerbread, Hansel and Gretel all lived happily ever after. The end.
Wait a minute. Where's Harry? Oh, right. He's hanging out at the Knive Knowles house. Let's go see what they're up to.
Hi, guys. It's me, Harry. Guess what? It's time for the Story Circle here at Cool School. And today, we're going to hear a Halloween story. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is. Hey, guys. This is Brittany and Austin from the Knive Knowles. Adriana's here, and Kylan.
We are excited to be a part of Story Circle. Harry, do you like Halloween?
No. I love Halloween!
Well, that's good. We do too, which is why we're going to be reading The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
I hope it's not too scary. For Kai.
Good thinking. We'll make sure it's not too scary. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Are you? This guy's ready.
Once upon a time, long ago, there was a very spooky town called Sleepy Hollow. It was spooky because it was dark and shadowy, and the wind made a noise through the trees like this. Ooh. Everyone would go to the big Sleepy Halloween Carnival. All the folks in Sleepy Hollow were excited for the carnival, but one young man named Ichabod Crane was the most excited. He was planning to, first, win the jack-o'-lantern carving contest, and second, ask Katrina, the coolest girl in the town, to marry him. It was going to be an epic night. Halloween came and Ichabod practiced carving pumpkins all day. There were funny pumpkins, cool pumpkins, pretty pumpkins, and scary pumpkins. He also practiced proposing.
Will you marry me?
Wouldst thou join me in holy matrimony?
Will you be my wife? Marry me.
Finally, it was time to go to the carnival. Ichabod had carved some really awesome jack-o'-lanterns, but he picked out the very scariest pumpkin as it was sure to win first prize. He was just so darn excited. He was rushing out the door when he slipped on some pumpkin guts and slipped whoosh! When he landed, his prize-winning jack-o'-lantern was stuck on his head!
Oh no!
He couldn't get the pumpkin off his head without breaking it and messing up the scary face he carved. So he decided he'd just wear the pumpkin to the carnival. He heard some of the neighborhood children skipping down the path on their way to the carnival. He called out,
"Hello there, children."
But the pumpkin over his mouth made him sound kind of like this.
"Hello there, children."
The kids took one look at the scary pumpkin's head and...
Well, that's odd. Guess they're excited it's Halloween.
The children ran ahead to the carnival, telling everyone they saw that there was a man with a pumpkin for a head chasing them. Then Ichabod heard old Mr. Winkle headed his way. He knew it was him because Mr. Winkle whistled a happy tune wherever he went, and his horse, Irving, always wore a bridle covered in jingle bells.
Hello, Mr. Winkle. Can you help me? I seem to have lost my head.
Mr. Winkle stopped whistling and started yelling. So loudly that Irving got spooked, and when a horse gets spooked, they go wild. He got up and ran away yelling,
"Pumpkin Man! It's a headless pumpkin man!"
He ran straight to the carnival to warn everyone that there was a scary man with a pumpkin for a head coming their way. Ichabod had no way of seeing what he looked like, but he realized now that he must look pretty scary, so he decided he would just let people know straight away that it was he, Ichabod Crane, and not a scary pumpkinhead. He rode up to the carnival and he said,
"Hello, it is I!"
But before he could finish, the townsfolk all panicked.
Ah, a headless horseman!
Off with his pumpkin head!
Yeah, hit the road, Jack-o'-lantern.
He stole my horse!
I say we turn him into pumpkin pie!
That was yelled by the baker, none other than Katrina von Tassel, the very lady that Ichabod was hoping to marry. The angry mob was closing in on him.
Wait, it's me, Ichabod. I'm Ichabod Crane.
Did he say he ate Ichabod Crane?
I was gonna marry that man.
She charged forth, waving her rolling pin in the air, and she whacked the mean old pumpkin man on his pumpkin head with her rolling pin. The pumpkin cracked open, and there was Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod! Hi, Katrina.
Ichabod explained to everyone how he had slipped and gotten the jack-o'-lantern stuck on his head, how he didn't want to ruin it and had just been looking for some help getting it off in one piece so he could still win first prize in the pumpkin carving contest.
I never meant to scare anyone, I promise. I just worked so hard on that jack-o'-lantern.
The townsfolk were just happy they didn't have to worry about a real pumpkin head man. So they forgave Ichabod for being scary, and he forgave them for trying to turn him into a pumpkin pie. He entered the pumpkin carving contest with new jack-o'-lanterns freshly carved. It wasn't a scary jack-o'-lantern this time. It just had words carved into it, and it said, "Will you marry me?" Ichabod didn't win first prize, but Katrina liked it a lot. It turned out to be a very happy Halloween in Sleepy Hollow. The end.
That was awesome!
Today we get to visit Judy and Benji and their baby bears.
Baby bears? Oh, cool!
Take it away, Judy.
Hi guys, my name is Judy.
And I'm Benji.
And these are our baby bears, Kira and Mia of It's Judy's Life. And today we're here at Cool School for the Story Circle!
And today we're going to be reading you Jack and the Beanstalk.
You guys ready?
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. Jack lived with his mom in a small town where nothing exciting ever happened. It was so boring that the #1 pastime was watching paint dry. Every Saturday, Jack's mom would send him to the market in a neighboring town to get groceries. This particular Saturday, Jack went and spent all the grocery money on just 3 little beans.
These are no ordinary beans, they're magic beans. Do you like magic?
Yeah!
Well, then you're gonna love these beans.
And just like that, he snatched Jack's money and was gone in a puff of smoke.
He did disappear like a magician, so the beans must be magical.
Jack ran home super duper excited about the magic beans. He showed his mom. She didn't believe in magic and she scolded Jack. Then she threw the beans right out the window. But good thing she did, because that night the beans grew into a giant beanstalk. It went all the way up to the sky. Just imagine if they had grown like that inside the house. That would have been messy. This was the first exciting thing that had ever happened in their town, so everybody came to look. But Jack was the only one brave enough to climb up to the top. When he reached the very tip top, he saw a whole new world where everything was huge. It was like a place for giants. He felt so small here. He was the same size as a mouse. It was a little scary being that small, but he had to go explore. Whoa! They had a giant TV? It was like a movie theater screen. Cool! Just then the floor started to rumble. Was it an earthquake? Eek! It was a real live giant!
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the feet of a little one.
Hey! My feet don't stink! Then he remembered he was very tiny compared to this giant. So maybe now wasn't the best time to argue. But the giant had already heard him. Although to him it sounded more like this. Hey! My feet don't stink! And just to be perfectly honest, Jack's feet were a little stinky. But that's beside the point. The giant had found Jack! He ran to the beanstalk. He slid down faster than that one time when he went down the big water slide at 6 Flags. Phew, he made it. But not before the giant saw the beanstalk, and that was bad. That was very, very bad. You see, the giants who lived up in the clouds had never had a way to get down to the earth below where all the people live. But now they had a big beanstalk to climb up and down whenever they wanted. Now Jack's town was like the giant's downstairs rec room, full of snacks and amusement,
Luckily, the giants were vegetarians, so no one had to worry about being eaten. But they did have to worry about being smashed. The giants loved Jack's little town. They ran around and played tag, which caused a lot of rumbling and shaking and made a very big mess. The giants also thought the humans were adorable and they started to treat them like little pets, putting funny sweaters on them and naming them things like Mr. Fluffy and Bingo.
Pretty little pet.
We have to get rid of these giants!
Fee fi fo fum, I tickle you on your tum-tum.
Jack and the other townsfolk held a meeting to discuss how to get rid of these giants.
I say we build a giant trap. That would take weeks.
How about we all just move?
We're going to have to cut down the beanstalk.
Chopping down the beanstalk does no good if the giants are still down here, squashing all the real estate and eating all the corn.
And calling me Fluffykins.
Yeah, they'd be down here forever. No thanks.
Okay, so we just have to get them all back up there at once. I have a plan. We're going to need a very big saw, a parachute, and all the cute stuff we can find.
Jack's plan started with all the townspeople hiding in their basement. Jack put on the most annoyingly adorable stuff the giant had been making people wear. He put on a fuzzy sweater with a smiley face that lit up, a little hat with bells, bunny slippers, pants that had My Little Ponytail, and a bib that said, "I'm the baby, gotta love me." Then he ran out into the town square and yelled out, "Hey, look how cute I am! I am so cute! Whoever catches me gets to keep me as their pet forever!" Well, the giants thought he was so adorable. They went to scoop him up, but he was too fast.
Catch me if you can!
The giggling giants chased Jack all through town, past Jack's house, and right up the beanstalk. He ran around until the very last giant followed him up the stalk. Once they were all there, he ran to the edge of the giant world and jumped. This is where the parachute came in handy. Jack sailed through the sky, and the townspeople took that as their cue to chop. The mayor shouted, "Mr. Lumberjack, tear down that stalk!" The townspeople cheered as the stalk teetered and wobbled. The lumberjack yelled out, "Timber!" And the big beanstalk crashed to the ground. Jack landed and everyone hoisted him up on their shoulders, chanting, "Yay, Jack! Yay, Jack!" The giant beanstalk turned the town into a huge tourist attraction. Looky-loos from all over the world wanted to come and see the big stalk and the brave hero who defeated the giants. The end.
So what did you guys think? Did you like that?
Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and also for a complete playlist of the Story Circle, click the video right here.
See you guys later. Bye.
Today, we're over at Cool School for the Story Circle.
That's right, and we're gonna read The Boy Cried Wolf. Are you ready?
And just then, Terry came running into town screaming,
"Wolf, wolf, wolf, wolf! Hey, everybody, there's a wolf! There's a wolf! Run for your lives! Wolf, 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 wolf! Help, 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 help!"
Old Mr. O'Brien ushered all his chickens inside of his maximum security chicken coop and locked the doors. Everyone in town scrambled to their houses and stores and locked them up tight, leaving Terry laughing in the town square.
You silly people! There's no wolf!